What's going on YouTube? It's been a while. This is NYG31 here. I'm sorry I'm late for this video. I want to talk about the guys we pick in the draft and the guys that are going to have an impact for this team. As you all know, every Giants fans know that we got Malik Nabers with the 6th overall pick in the first round. He has good hands. He's crisp on his routes, and he could but he could run after cash. He could make contested catches and all that. He'll be a good number one wide receiver. We never had a number one wide receiver since Odell Beckham. I mean, let's face it. When the last time Daniel Jones had a number one wide receiver? I think the number one wide receiver that Daniel Jones ever have is Darius Slayton. That's it. I mean, we drafted J.L.A. Hyatt last year, but he's not a true number one wide receiver. He's more of like a number two, or like borderline number two, or completely a number three wide receiver. In the second round, we got Tyler Nubin. I watched some of his highlights. I watched tape of him. He could make a good impact for our team. I mean, he could play in the box. He could play like outside the box. He could play full safety, strong safety. You could put him anywhere in the safety position, and he could cover too. I think, he could cover better than McKinney. There was a good solid pick in the second round. I think he's going to do wonders for our team. I think he could help us in the run game, and he could defend the pass. He's really good on that. Third round pick, Andres Phillips. Man, when I watched tape on Andres Phillips, he could play outside and he could play the slot. He could cover man, this guy could really cover. He may be undersized, but he could cover. He could cover. I watched him against Georgia, and he blanket Lackey. He covered Lackey like a let's see, Lad Lackey or whoever his name is that Charger got. He could cover Lackey like a hawk, and also he blanket Brock Bowers in a game against Georgia. This guy is special. I think this guy could play the outside and the inside, like I said. But I think with Phillips, I think he's gonna win that starting slot corner job. Fourth round, we got Theo Johnson. He wasn't utilized that much in Penn State. And that was a solid pick because you don't know if Darren Waller is going to retire or if Darren Waller is going to play this season. But if Darren Waller plays this season, he'd probably be the number 3 tight end or something like that, because we already have Daniel Bellinger. So, with Daniel Bellinger, with the number 2, possibly Darren Waller number 1. But if Darren Waller retires, look for Theo Johnson to start this upcoming season in that number 1 tight end spot. And the 5th round, we got the guy from Purdue. I forgot his name, but he used to play wide receiver, converted into a running back. I watched a little highlights of him. I think he could contribute to the run game. We just signed Devin Singletary to a 1-year deal, so he's gonna be the number 1 running back. I think Tracy or something like that is gonna be behind Eric Gray. We still got Gary Brightwell on the team. I don't know why, and all of that. With the last pick in the 6th round, we got Darren Mussel. He's raw. He played a linebacker position in UCLA, but I think he's going to play on special teams, because the reason why we picked Darren Mussel, because we lost Cam Brown in the offseason. He went to the Miami Dolphins. And then go overall, the Giants have a decent draft. Not home to write about, but I think The Giants had a good draft. Not better than the Washington Commanders. Not better than the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Giants have a solid draft. I mean, the draft is not that bad for the Giants. And let me tell you something, Giants fans. Even though the media is penciling Drew Luck as a starting QB, even though Daniel Jones is coming out of injury, I think Daniel Jones is going to recover real quickly and regain his starting QB job. I think in week 1, Daniel Jones is going to shot, not Drew Luck. Even though Drew Luck could throw in the pocket and stuff like that, I know Daniel Jones don't see the field well. And the reason why the Daniel Jones don't see the field well, because he had a bad offensive line when Dave Gettleman was here. But when Dave Gettleman was here, he messed up every draft pick to screw this kid. He never gave Daniel Jones a number 1 wide receiver. And look what Joe Schoen did in this past draft. Gave him a number 1 wide receiver. Gave him an offensive line. Draft John Michael Smith Jr. last year. The year before that, he drafted Evan Neal. Josh Azudu, Marcus McKeithen. This guy, Joe Schoen, tried to, this guy, Joe Schoen, is trying to provide Daniel Jones with the offensive line or the offensive weapons that he needs to succeed. Now, this year is shut up or put up time for Daniel Jones. Because if he don't produce this year and we gain that starting QB job and he fails week 1, or actually by the time week 5 comes around, I think the Giants are going to draft a quarterback next year. And it's up to Daniel Jones to scan the field, manipulate the safety with his eyes and manipulate his corners with his eyes while he's throwing in the pocket and deliver a strike to the wide receiver instead of doing one read and get an interception and lock down one receiver. I do not want Daniel Jones to lock out one receiver. I want Daniel Jones to manipulate the corner with his eyes and scan the field and make the right reads. Because if you don't make the right reads, by the time week 5 comes around, by next year, the Giants will draft a quarterback. And the Giants are not playing. He got all the offensive weapon that he needs. He got an offensive line now. He got a number 1 wide receiver now. It's put up or shut up time for Daniel Jones. And I'm saying, Daniel Jones will start in week 1, not Drew Luck. Drew Luck don't have the physical attributes to start in week 1. He's inaccurate. He makes a ton of mistakes. I mean, he could scan the field better than Daniel Jones a little bit, but who cares? Daniel Jones has more athletic ability than Drew Luck. And until then, this is NYG31 signing out.